Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be playing some One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Just going to be doing a random treasure log mission. I think I'm just going to randomly go through the list and just stop and pick one of them. I'm not too picky at the moment, and I think I'm going to play Roger, just kind of in the mood based off of the newest episode and stuff. And I will be talking about a bit of spoilers for the manga and the anime. But yeah, we got to see Shanks doing Roger's move, Divine Departure, which was super hype, and I think that whole episode was fantastic, and I think they really extended it above the source material, because it was a cool moment in the source material, but the thing with the kid destroying all the fleet, that's two tiny squares in the corner of a manga page, and then Shanks just jumps up and attacks, and we don't get to see any of that run up or anything that we got to see in the anime. And I really like what they did with the Griffin, where when you could see his aura of hockey, it was shaped in a griffin because his sword's name is Griffin, so it's based off of that. Which also somewhat interested, kind of related to Griffin and not sort of. There's a mysterious figure on the latest chapter in the manga at the very end, with our big 2-page spread of all the characters for the final saga. And there's someone that has a sword that looks like Roger's or Shanks, like a cutlass type of blade, which I imagine a lot of people do, but I feel like a lot of big names don't have that type of sword that I know of. So I'm really excited to see who that turns out to be. Because it'd be cool if it was someone, because we also still don't know who the man marked by the flame is, I don't think. So it could be that person, and we just don't know who it is yet. And there's so many possibilities at the moment, because now we have a couple clones probably going around, or it's a possibility that there's clones around. There's just Pacifista going around. There's just so much that's going around in the world at the moment. It's so cool. And I'd really liked, with that last page that we got in the most recent chapter, with all those different characters, it really, focuses us in to the final saga, and kind of, we can tell what Oda's been building up to with the Egghead and Wano and everything, and going into the final arc. And I like how it's setting it up, because, for the longest time, the Emperors were something that was, a threat too far above us. We were only ever, the Warlords level. And then we finally got into the Emperor Saga, and it went on for, almost the entire post-time skip. Pretty much the moment we get out of Fishman Island, the very end with the confrontation with Big Mom, essentially opens up into that saga. And we just finished it with Wano, so it's cool seeing how Oda's directing us and what characters we're going to see. And we've already seen, in the anime, Shanks has finally had a big fight against not a main character, because Kid is a lower I would say one tier lower than Law in importance, where Law is actually important to some arcs and has a lot of intrinsic value to the series, where Kid is basically just a side character that got to experience a lot and built out the world for us, and just how we got to see another pirate's journey, and someone compete with Luffy a little bit, and see almost a darker side to the pirate, because the Kid pirates were much more willing to use violence and not care about pedestrians, not right, civilians, that's the term. So we got to see how that turned out bad, for having that course of action essentially got him seemingly killed. I imagine it's One Piece, so they're probably not dead. But when the Giants did their big attack to finish him off, which was also just so cool to see the Giants again, and see that attack with the new animation. Because for the longest time, we've had really strong characters, but back then we didn't have an insane animation and stuff like we do now. So some of the feats don't seem as crazy. When when Shanks is walking up on Whitebeard's ship, he physically damages the ground with his hockey, which is something we're more recently getting into now, and just a lot of crazy shit like that we saw early on, and then we saw like the Giant's attack, which turned out to be a basically a giant attack that like Big Mom used. Kaido, well, Big Mom and Kaido did it together. So it's just really cool to see that come back as the Giants and see them actually playing a part in the story. And if you've been paying attention to the manga, they definitely lean into immediately after what we're seeing here. They are important, and there's a reason we showed this. Like, there's a lot of cutaways in Egghead, which, even if they weren't super important at the moment, they're all really cool moments. Like, the next episode, we're gonna start to see what's up with Kobe, I think. And just all of this stuff was so cool in the manga, but it seemed a bit unfocused, and like, by the end of Egghead, it all really made sense, and like, it came together in a very great way. And I'm so excited to see how Egghead finishes up, because we're like nearing seemingly the end, and we could probably be done in a couple chapters, but Oda might delay it a little bit with the stuff with the Gorosei that's happening. I imagine it probably won't be super easy to escape. Not that it was, but I could see us having more difficulty still. And it seemed like we were still getting a tiny bit more message from Vegapunk, but we'll have to see in the next chapter. It's just, One Piece is so exciting right now. I know some people like don't like Egghead, and like, I remember looking stuff up on Reddit or something for one of the new episodes, and like, people were just complaining, and I was like, man, this is like the best One Piece has been post time skip. And I'm like a defender of post time skip, because I feel like a lot of the problems with it come from the anime being slightly lower quality, especially during like the Dressrosa era, and a very slow pacing during that time. And still occasionally we do get the slower pace, but I think Egghead has overall been really good. And like, pretty much every arc, while it's ongoing, as far as I know, it constantly gets shit and is like considered a terrible arc until it's actually over. Like, I'm pretty sure Whole Cake Island was considered like awful while it was happening by a lot of the community, and then it ended up to be, with some people not really liking it, but one of my favorite arcs. Like, post time skip has so many great moments, but like, a lot of what I like about One Piece, like, I like Thriller Bark a lot because it's like a smaller, self-contained story that also world builds a lot. We find out a lot in that arc, and we meet a lot of new characters and stuff, where I've like really just appreciate the smaller ones, like Punk Hazard and Sabaody. Like, all this stuff is like some of my favorite moments in One Piece happen in those smaller arcs, and it feels more condensed and like so good. It doesn't feel like we're running around for pointlessly for a ton of it. It seems like there's constantly stuff happening, and I'm just so happy with how it's turned out. And I'm sure there's still going to be more surprises, and like, I feel like everything going forward now is just going to be so crazy, because like, we have so much that's built up in this world now, and it's all coming to a spearhead as like everyone's trying to fund the One Piece now, and multiple people either like one poneglyph away, or they have all of the options available, and now it is going to the location. I believe Blackbeard and Shanks both have them all now, right? Because they got the ones from Wano, and I think they're... Actually, there might be still one missing, because there was one that was unknown, and I'm not sure if anyone has that one yet. So that is a thing. But going forward, they'll all be going to one location then. So it's going to be absolutely crazy, and I feel like it's really building up to like a Marineford 2. And it's going to be bad shit insane, and I'm absolutely loving every second of this arc. But I think that'll be all for this video. Thanks for watching, and peace.